only helping solidify Hamas even further. Every step of the way, Western involvement in this process has been fucking dog shit. Okay? Every step of the way, whether it be Israeli involvement or whether it be the involvement of Americans and the American State Department.
They have written the history of Al-Aqsa flood. They have put the right beginning to eliminate the occupation. We need no more occupation to our land, sanctuaries, and our Aqsa. This resistance, in every single hour, in every single moment, they go and they hit everywhere in the heart of this Zionist criminal regime. The Zionist regime didn't manage, despite the army and the weapons, to face our brave men. So the Zionist regime is now committing this genocide, burned land, and the attempts to relocate our people in Gaza. And the Zionist regime thinks that these crimes, these brutal crimes, barbaric crimes committed by this regime will eliminate the disgrace of being defeated and of being broken with the start of the strategic Qassam attack on the 7th of October.
It's wild that this motherfucker went on TV and is saying this when, like, yesterday they released an 18-minute video, English speaking, with different Hamas officials who speak perfect English, specifically to the Western-facing world, where they used very different terms. Very, very different terms. Terms looking for peace, terms looking for a pathway to, to create a secession of the endless bombing campaign. Big homie out here is like, we fucking dealt a major blow to Israel's heart. Bomb us harder, bitch. Bomb us harder, bitch. It's like, yeah, from where he's standing, okay, because this motherfucker's not in Gaza. You know what I mean? Yeah. Big homies in fucking Qatar talking shit. He's like, yeah, dude, come on, go ahead. Go ahead, bomb Gaza. The worst thing that has befallen the Palestinian population, unfortunately, is that all of their good leaders have been fucking executed. All of the people that actually legitimately had a shot. I mean, not that Israel ever was interested in following on these efforts or on these negotiations, but like the shittiest situation is that, like, the Palestinian Authority is the American-backed institution that now just simply is a collaborative part of the Israeli government. It's just the Palestinian face on the Israeli government. And it's more complicated than that as well, to be fair. And the only dude that is seemingly separate from that, the only person that is seemingly separate from at least like Western affiliations, is this fucking guy, and you know, his allegiances, or at least his like his positioning is in a different direction. But remember, Israel had all of the opportunity. Israel had all the opportunities, time and time and time again, to actually prop up the Palestinian Authority, the secular Palestinian Authority, led by, majority Christians, actually. I mean, there's obviously plenty of Muslims as well, but like a lot of fucking Christians are in the Palestinian Authority. It's secular. They had every opportunity to show the rest of the Palestinians that the Palestinian Authority in its collaborative project with Israel, could peacefully coexist. Look how wonderful the situation is in West Bank in comparison to Gaza. They didn't do that because they didn't care about that. They don't care about like actually having a two-state solution. They've never cared about having a two-state solution. They want a one Israeli Jewish state solution where all of the Palestinians are cleansed from the land. That is precisely the reason why, on the one hand, while they were acting like they were dealing with Arafat on decent peace negotiations, their same militant Islamist fundamentalist wing that they had propped up was throwing fucking bombs left and right. But it's not just Hamas that is the singular force of evil here, okay? I need you to understand. Because I'm not simply saying like Israel propped up Hamas and this is their problem. That is true. That is historically accurate. But every step of the fucking way, they had an opportunity to show as the large power player in the region that controls all the levers of power that they could have just as easily as they propped up Hamas, squashed Hamas by showing that there was a better method forward. There was a better pathway forward, a collaborative effort with a secular Palestinian authority that had that would protect and preserve the best interests of the Palestinians living in the West Bank. That never happened, and that was by design. They did not want that to happen, and Benjamin Netanyahu specifically, time and time again, told his own party and whoever the fuck would listen to him that if you want to thwart any efforts of a Palestinian nation-state project, you must lean on Hamas as though they are the only liberators of the Palestinian people, as though they are the only party to negotiate with. That's it. And then, on top of that, I was reading an article last night because, like, we already have talked about how Israel propped up Hamas, created Hamas, played and played a significant role in its inception and also in its development. But the other part of the puzzle is the American government. Because remember, like, there hasn't been an election in Palestine since 2006. And that is like, the last time that election happened wasn't because the Palestinian people were like, oh, thank God, we're trying to have an election. I'm so glad that we're having an election. No, that was because America wanted them to have an election. Because at the fucking time, under the Bush administration, they thought that their guy in the Palestinian Authority would be a very viable candidate, even though the Palestinians themselves tried to explain to the Bush administration, no, we are not ready for an election. We are not ready for an election. We are not ready for an election. And they still forced it. They still forced this election in 2006. And guess who won that election in 2006? The party that was the militant Islamist fundamentalists who were basically running on an anti-corruption campaign, while the other side was seemingly on the side of both Israel and America. So the anti-corruption campaign, Hamas, ran and won. They didn't win because they were like, everyone is a rabid Islamist in Palestine, okay? Even though conditions have allowed it, even though conditions certainly created an environment where more and more people were radical and more people were becoming, throwing themselves in the whims of radical Islamist fundamentalist principles, because that's what happens when you're getting fucking bombed all the goddamn time with no way out, with no solution, okay? I did my dissertation about this. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Except, have you considered that maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because my name is Hasan and I must have my allegiances to, secretly have allegiances to the Islamist fundamentalists within Hamas, and that you should probably get your information from a guy who just learned about Israel-Palestine last week by watching a couple fucking YouTube videos and not the guy who's been covering this for the past 10 fucking years. I'm just saying, you wrote your dissertation on this, but like maybe you should have asked the people that keep calling me, well, I'm a Palestinian. What the fuck do I know either? Oh, there you go. Clearly, another incredibly biased individual amongst our ranks. Also, I've noticed that you haven't condemned Hamas yet, and the leader of Hamas is on screen. That's crazy. Another biased chatter, biased in the direction of wanting emancipation for himself and his family and others like him. Anyway, this is a hilarious failure, a hilarious fuck up by the American government as well. So the anti-corruption Hamas party, which was able to solidify its ranks better than the Palestinian Authority at the time, end up winning the election. So what the fuck does the Bush administration do? They do exactly what they always have done. They try to do a fucking coup. They take the secular forces and kidnap a bunch of Hamas dudes and try to fucking change the results in a violent coup d'etat of the at the time democratically elected Hamas leadership. And guess what? They got fucking owned. Only helping solidify Hamas even further. Every step of the way, Western involvement in this process has been fucking dog shit. Okay? Every step of the way, whether it be Israeli involvement or whether it be the involvement of Americans and the American State Department. And the irony is that America tried to fix the problem and yet still fucking failed. Like, I am a firm believer that legitimately they thought the secular former PLO Palestinian Authority guys were more controllable in the eyes of the American State Department. They were like, this has gotten out of control. We have to figure out a better pathway forward. The fucking Islamist fundamentalists are going to yield larger problems down the line. It is in our best interest to try and fix the situation. And how do they fix the situation? Make it way fucking worse. Make it way worse. I hope. Anyway, but
no way. This attack will never eliminate all the tools of oppression and killing and the political consequences, security consequences, media consequences. But I can say that this Al-Qassam attack has put an end to this policy and to these Zionist plans of this fascist government in Israel against our prisoners, against our people in Gaza, West Bank, against the Palestinian people everywhere. We will start and resume the strategy of freedom with the help of Allah Almighty. Our enemy today is doing what is doing with the support, and I feel sorry to say with the support of the American administration and some European countries, because they have this double understanding and double vision. They are now going back, by the way, but they still think that what is being done by the Zionist regime, the psychological war, and the spreading papers and this here and there to our people, that our people will relocate, will immigrate, will be displaced, but no way. It's a dream. The people of Gaza are adhering to the lands, adhering to the nations. They will never leave Gaza. They will never immigrate whatsoever done by you.
I love when, like, he says this, right? And I've already seen so many motherfuckers come in here and be like, oh, this is proof that, like, Hamas is holding Palestinians at gunpoint in Gaza. Not realizing that the Palestinians in Gaza could potentially not want to fucking leave, even though they're being ethnically cleansed with an endless bombing, because they do not want a situation that they know all too well. That if they do leave, they will never be able to return. If they leave, what is the alternative? They leave, they go and what? Live in a fucking tent city in Sinai? That's their possible better alternative. That's the humane alternative. Where they're like, where they have to go back and like duke it out constantly with like fucking bandits and like whatever ISIS holdover remains in the region. Like the humane alternative is the Trail of Tears. IDF supporters are brain dead. I mean, yeah, you have to shut off parts of your fucking brain to not see that at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break. And that if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Or by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. You know what I mean? You got to shut off a part of your brain for that. Andrew Tate's Pizza Box, thank you for the 20 gifted. I may be completely stupid, but will the people of Palestine be able to access these funds or help? Or will Israelis take it? No, these are on-the-ground operations that are continuing inside of Gaza. All 4 of these organizations were handpicked by myself after consultation with people that are both on the ground and people that are very well aware of what the best charities are. Yeah, literally exactly what you said. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw this as well here. Gaza residents organized dozens of protests refusing to evacuate, chanting, "We prefer to die and not be humiliated." Anyway, let's hear what this motherfucker has to say.
The killers, the criminals. We have only one line: to return back to our territories, to our houses, to the land of our grandparents. It is not far away. It's within hand. This attack, the strategic attack by Al-Qassam against you, says that the...
Guys, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of weird that this Palestinian is talking and he's yet to condemn Hamas. Are you guys with me on this? Like, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. Like, why is this Palestinian delivering a message and hasn't condemned Hamas yet? What's going on there? I'm feeling a little uncomfortable by that.
Freedom and our return is very close with the help of Allah Almighty. That's why a big salute to our people in Gaza. A big salute to those with their blood, with the fire, are facing the killing machine, the barbaric machine, the fascist machine of the Zionist regime. They are adhering and they are committed to their houses, to their mosques, to their land. Marches everywhere. Yesterday, under the threat of the warplanes to salute the resistance, to salute Al-Qassam brigades, and to stress that we are here, we will stay here in our nation as long as life is there. This is the stand, and this is the situation that should be mentioned in the honor list of the Palestinian people. Today, Gaza is facing the fire, but still Gaza is saying its historic word. Gaza is placing the right place of the Palestinians in their lands and the dignity of the Palestinians. No immigration from Gaza, no relocation from the West Bank, no immigration from Gaza to Egypt. And here I need to appraise the stand of our brothers in Egypt who are confirming that Egypt is a sisterly country and is a supporting country. Egypt welcomes the sons and daughters of the Palestinian people, but under no name such as immigration or relocation. I'm telling my brothers in Egypt, our decision is to stay in our lands. That's why your decision is our decision.
It's so funny, like, as though the fucking Egyptian government has a say on this. You know what I mean? Yeah, if tomorrow America's like, hey, we're doing a humanitarian corridor and you're going to fucking like it, Egypt is like, all right, got it. Yeah, fuck this sisterly country shit. You know what I mean? Which it's not. It's not anyway. It's not a sisterly country. Yeah. Yeah, Egypt, the sisterly nation. So the Palestinians literally fucking told Israel that a Hamas attack was imminent. Such sisters they are. This is such a weird fucking line of copium too, because like he knows that that's not the case. It's not like he's confused by fucking the relationship between Hamas and Egypt. If the relationship was so great, you wouldn't be in Qatar. You would be in Egypt. You know what I mean? Like why the fuck are you in Qatar then? Why aren't you in fucking Egypt then? What's going on? It's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing to just like do this level of copium.
And we will face the Zionist plans supported by the U.S. administration. It will be a big failure. Our standfast and our unified stand and our solidarity, the Arab solidarity, the Islamic solidarity, the world solidarity from the free people all over the four corners of the world. They talk about the civilians. They shed tears about the elderly and the kids and the women. And they are trying by all means to not to say the right word about what's going on. We belong to our religion. We belong to our ethics. And Hamas has always been keen not to target the civilians, not to target the civilians despite everything done by the Zionist regime. Hamas is part of this great nation. Hamas is a freedom movement that belongs to these ethics, to this religion, to these ethics. And what do you think about the killing of civilians from the Palestinians?
Yeah, I mean, he's he immediately goes, what about the killings of Palestinians from the Israeli hands? Is pretty funny because it immediately gives the game away. He's like, what about those guys? It's like, yeah, true. I love that he's condemning. It's Hamas condemning Hamas. Listen, there is no military operation that anybody conducts that is going to be fucking devoid of civilian casualties. It's just not happening. That's ridiculous, okay? So for him to fucking say that, like, oh, we don't target civilians, like, come on, brother, that's ridiculous. Unless he's operating by 1948 rules where he's like, every baby that is born on Israel proper is just like an enemy combatant that must be ruthlessly assassinated, okay? He didn't even, don't do this, Jesus. I mean, that is the IDF position. So I guess that's why he's saying that. I don't know.
Inside. Where are you when our children are being killed? Massacres are being committed in our lands. The destruction of all houses and homes. What do you think of the destruction and demolition of the mosques and the buildings and the infrastructure? What is your stand and what is your position when you see the Israelis killing, not now, before, different nationals from different countries, Palestinians and other citizenships from other countries on the Palestinian territories? That's why the movement will never shake. The movement will never shake. Hamas will never shake in front of these media machines that are only telling lies. And some of these media outlets are absorbed by the Israeli narrative. But very soon they will discover the reality. Because
that is senior Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh saying they will never leave Gaza, standing defiant in the face of a potential imminent attack from Israel, which...
So, he already left Gaza? Yeah, he's not in Gaza. He's in Qatar. Anyway,